My name is Joshua Mugabi. I welcome you to Ecology Part 2 Bingo. So without wasting any of our time, let's go directly to our quiz. A heterotrophic organism that feeds on other organisms. It cannot make its own food. There are three types: primary, secondary, and tertiary. Part A, Commensalism. Part B, Decomposers. Part C, Consumers. And Part D, Detritus. The answer is C, Consumers. Involves an active physical confrontation between two organisms. For example, two dogs fighting over a bone. One may have stronger muscles and sharp teeth, and so wins the bone. Part A, contest competition. Part B, Ectotherm. Part C, colonization. And Part D, energy transfer. The answer is Part A, contest competition. An organism which feeds on and breaks down the dead remains of organisms, that is detritus and excreta, into simpler substances. Example, bacteria, fungi, among others. Option A, Flora. Option B, Ectotherm. Option C, Decomposers. Option D, Endoparasite. The answer is Decomposers. The cutting down of forests without planting any replacement trees, i.e., forestry permanently removed. A, deforestation. B, conservation. C, biodegradation. D, carbon cycle. The answer is A, deforestation. Removal of nitrates and nitrites from soil by converting them to ammonia and then nitrogen gas. This is done by denitrifying bacteria. Example, Theobacillus denitrificans. A, it is deforestation. B, ammonification. C, biodegradation. D, denitrification. The answer is D, denitrification. Dead or decaying organisms. A. Diurnal. B. Carbon cycle. C. Detritus. D. Decomposers. The answer is C. Detritus. Food chain composed of animals and plants which cannot photosynthesize and so get their food by feeding on dead plant material, or food chain that begins with dead organic matter or animal waste. A. Decomposers. B. Detritus food chain. C. Detritus. D. Ectoparasite. The answer is B. Detritus food chain. Refers to an organism that is active during the day, opposite of nocturnal. A. Aspect. B. Endotherm. C. Ectotherm. D. Diurnal. The answer is D. Diurnal. Where changes in the population of a species are in an unchanging state of balance, without loss or gain of species, and population of each remain relatively constant. Any disturbance in population size tends to return the equilibrium. A. Dynamic equilibrium. B. Conservation. C. Ecological equilibrium. D. Biological magnification. The answer is A. Dynamic equilibrium. A way of comparing different communities of an ecosystem in order of different trophic levels, that is the feeding levels. A. Ecological pyramids. B. Ecosystem. C. Ecology equilibrium. D. Biodiversity. The answer is A. Ecological pyramids. The study of how living things relate to and interact with each other and their environment. A. Conservation. B. Ecology. C. Biosphere. D. Biodiversity. The answer is B. Ecology. A community of living organisms interacting with one another and their non-living environment within a particular area. Example, woodland, hedgerow, seashore, tree, etc. The earth itself is an excellent example, as no part of it is completely isolated from the rest. A. Atmosphere. B. Community. C. Biosphere. D. Ecosystem. The answer is D. Ecosystem. A parasite that lives on the surface of an organism. Example, flea on a dog. A. Ectoparasite. B. Endotherm. C. Endoparasite. D. Ectotherm. The answer is A. Ectoparasite. An animal whose temperature changes with that of its surroundings, i.e., a cold-blooded animal. Example, fish, frog, reptile. It gains heat by moving into a warmer area and loses heat by moving into a colder area. A. Consumer. B. Decomposer. C. Ectotherm. D. Endotherm. The answer is C. Ectotherm. Physical, chemical, and biological characteristics of the soil that influence the community. The major ones are available soil, that is soil, water, mineral content, pH, humus, soil texture, and structure. A. Edaphic factors. B. Biotic factors. C. Abiotic factors. D. Aquatic factors. The answer is A. Edaphic factors. A parasite living inside a host, for example, liver fluke, tapeworm, etc. A. Endotherm. B. Endoparasite. C. Ectotherm. D. Ectoparasite. The answer is B. Endoparasite. An animal whose body temperature is maintained usually at a higher level than that of its surroundings, i.e., a warm-blooded animal, e.g., human. The source of this heat is from its metabolism. A. Ectoparasites. B. Endotherm. C. Endoparasite. And D. Ectotherm. The answer is B. Endotherm. The pathway of energy transfer from one organism to the next in an ecosystem due to feeding, for example, along a food chain. A. Ecological pyramids. B. Competition. C. Energy flow. D. Biomass. The answer is C. Energy flow. The plants of a locality or region. A. Diurnal. B. Flora. C. Biosphere. D. Fauna. The answer is B. Flora. The flow of energy into the ecosystem from the sun and within the ecosystem through the different trophic levels along food chains, including detritus, and finally out of the ecosystem into the atmosphere as heat loss due to respiration. A. Energy flow. B. Detritus food chain. C. Pyramids. D. Energy transfer. The answer is D. Energy transfer. The animals in a locality or region. A. Flora. B. Carnivore. C. Fauna. D. Ectoparasite. The answer is C. Fauna. A condition where lakes become over-enriched with nutrients resulting from excess artificial fertilizers washed into rivers and lakes. There is a rapid increase in the growth of algae, or what we call algal bloom, as they use up the nutrients. When all the nutrients are used up, the algae die and are broken down by bacteria, which use up the oxygen in the water, resulting in the death of aquatic organisms such as fish. A. Ammonification. B. Eutrophication. C. Biodegradation. And D. Denitrification. The answer is B. Eutrophication. Hello, my friends. Thank you very much for participating in Ecology Part 2. Please do like, share, and subscribe. Thank you once again. My name is Joshua Mugabi. Bye-bye for now.